Everybody doing? My name's Mike, and I have Miss April with us today. So we're going to talk about fearful dogs and a characteristic that they commonly show, which is a lot of anxiety. So anxiety is obviously not good for your dog. It's not natural, but the bottom line is the dog is going to feed off whoever they are with. So if you're naturally an anxious person, or a person that, or you have a home where there's a lot of anger or a lot of fights in, it's not going to be good for any dog, period, but it's going to be extra detrimental to the fearful dog. So with an anxious dog, what you're going to see is they're going to move around a lot. You know, this dog, when she first came to me, she just couldn't sit still. They're always kind of searching for a way out, and the fearful dog is always looking around like this. You know, a lot of owners miss the signs of fear. If the dog moves backwards, you know, when somebody stands up, the dog moves back, that's fear. You know, a dog can go from being unsure to fearful. Some dogs, they may be confident, but they're just a little unsure, and they need somebody to help bring that confidence, and you won't see fear. But most dogs who have bad cases of fear and they've been exasperated in different scenarios, you know, whether they were in a shelter or just by an owner that doesn't understand what's going on. And so you would never want to console a fearful dog. What you want to do is put a leash on them and actually teach them and train them in a way that they trust, understand, and respect. And it's almost always going to be through a leash. So what I'm getting at is a fearful dog is going to be anxious. They're going to move around a lot. They're always going to be looking over their shoulder, and they're always going to be trying to find a place to hide. So she's gone through some obedience training now. She's a lot more calm. She relaxes a little more. So she's still like shaking, right? So I could use attrition with her. I can make her do stuff real fast. Sit, heel, sit. You know, make her move real fast with me, and she'll do it. And sometimes that's good, but I also want to have access to calm her down. So when I want to calm the dog down and make her just sit in one spot, what I'll do is exercises where she has to stay still for prolonged periods. So it looks something like this. Heel. And we also move very slow with the fearful dog. We can also move very slow. Sit. Good girl. Sit. No. Sit. So I don't want her to hug the wall. Heel. What I'm doing is I'm putting her there because I want her in the shade. If you have a dog, you should be working them in the shade. Sit. Sit. Good girl. Good sit. I don't want her hugging up against the wall. With a fearful dog, you always have to make rules. Sit. So when I say sit, that's telling her to stay. So we have different distractions outside. That is why I'm working her outside. Good girl. Good sit. Sit. So I repeat sit instead of saying stay. I repeat the command. Sit. So there's people over there making noise. There's kids. There's also another dog. So sit. That's why it's good to work the fearful dog outside, because there's so much more distractions than in your home. So sit. Nope. Sit. I don't want her hugging that wall. Come. Heel. Good girl. Sit. See how she's hugging the wall? Heel. Sit. Sit. Good girl. Good sit. So you want to prevent the dog from hugging the wall because she feels insecure. Okay, she's going to learn out here that there's nothing bad is happening to her out here. Sit. So making her stay. That's why she, nope, sit, sit, heel. So when she moves, I put her right back in the same spot. Sit. I put her in the same spot that she moved from. So she doesn't get anywhere from moving. Sit. And so when you see the dog shaking, that's not because she's scared right now. What's happening is that she's so used, her body's so used to doing what it wants and bolting all the time when she wants to bolt, And when she wants to run, just being able to do it, that's why she's shaking, because she just wants to run from anything she sees. She's much more confident than she was. There is still some fear there, but what you're seeing is the behavior of flight from the dog, the instinct to flee away from everything being blocked. It's a good thing that the shaking, you're seeing the dog change. She is actually changing through the shaking because she's doing a behavior she never did before. No one had ever gotten this dog to stay still in a way that she understands. And sit. Now that she's doing it, during the change period, that's what nope, sit. See how she's hugging the wall? Heel. So she's got to do it all over again. Sit. And she also knows that I'm talking to the camera, and she's also going to take advantage of that. That's just what dogs do. No, sit. See, she's going to take advantage of me talking to the camera. Let me be quiet for a minute so I can go ahead and concentrate with her. Heel. Heel. Sit. Nope, sit. So I correct her right away when she breaks the position. That's how she learns what I want from her. So now I'm going to use the wall to get her to lay down. She's working on her down. Sit. So I'm going to actually allow her to hug the wall. When I do this, I'm going to call her to me. I'm going to let her hug the wall and get her to go to a down. Sit. Sit. Come. Down. Down. Nope, nope. So I don't want her to do it like that. She's doing it a little, she's like hugging me too much. So heel. Sit. Sit. Come. Down. Down. Nope. Down. Down. So I use the wall. I'm allowing her to do that just to get her in the down position when I ask her to. You see how she's looking out that way. Now this is a dog who's practiced fear, her whole entire life, and you're looking at 3 weeks of training, and she's actually doing very, very well. I mean, with fear, nope, down. With fear, you never know how long it's going to take. Down. It could take a very long time. And they could also turn around in a very short time. It depends on the dog, depends how long they've been doing it before and how severe it is. Down. Heel. Sit. So, with a fearful dog, if you notice, the best thing for her is to go from command to command. She's going from a sit to heel, from command to command. We string the commands together, and that's going to make her feel good and secure about what she's supposed to be doing and what I want from her and what's going to make me happy. Because at the end of the day, sit. She wants to please me. She wants to please her owner at the end of the day. Sit. She just doesn't understand life. Truly, there is no clarity. So now she is beginning to understand. And like I said, when you see the shaking, if you notice the shaking is not there anymore. When you see the dog shaking, the first instinct from other people who are not familiar with dog behaviors, they think the dog is automatically just super scared, when in fact that is an expression of her wanting to move but stopping herself. She is struggling in her head, but she is doing it, and she is trying for me to not move, but in her body, everything in her soul is telling her, run, 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 get out of here, you gotta go. It'd be like her life is like if you heard gunshots in a building, you would run out of there as fast as you could. Well, that's her life. Anything, any odd noise would do that to her. So, she's doing very well with the fearful dog. We take our time. You have to be very gentle. You have to earn their trust. And most of all, you got to get their body to start doing what you want the mind to do. We want the body to we want the mind to relax. Sit. We want the mind to relax. No, sit. We want the mind to relax. So we got to get the body to do that first. See, what you just saw there was a vehicle pulling up, turn around, doing weird stuff. So she notices everything in her environment because she's fearful. So you have to be aware. Anytime that happens, I let her know, stop scooting your butt out like that. You know, you don't have to face everything. So if you're the owner of a fearful dog, you really have to take control, and you really have to get the dogs in training, because they are definitely suffering when they're in a fearful state their whole life.